Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Advisors webinar, Surviving the Pandemic. Tonight, we are happy to host a dear friend, Dr. Mohammed Mutawei. Good evening, Dr. Mutawei. How are you?
Good evening, Dr. Saadi. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight in a rather very interesting topic, which is about assessment. I've been a certified OPM3 assessor until PMI decided to stop it in 2017. And I participated in several assessments. So this is a great topic. I would like to thank Dr. Mutawei because he really did an amazing job by providing a very interesting and very thorough, more like a master class tonight. I think you will all enjoy it. I hope you finish no more than 50 minutes because it's long. Dr. Mutawei has over 30 years of experience in 20 countries. He's PMP, RMP, PBA, P3O, PCT, and of course he has a PhD. Currently, Dr. Mutawei, you operate in Orascom, I believe?
Yeah, I work in, one of the multinational contracting organizations, yes.
Okay. So, by stating this, welcoming you, I'm gonna give you directly the floor, and we'll enjoy with the rest of us listening to your presentation tonight. Welcome again.
Thank you, Dr. Saadi, for the introduction. Greetings to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot for attending this webinar tonight. It is my pleasure and honor to be with you tonight to speak about COVID-19, a call for project management maturity assessment. First, let me quickly introduce myself. I am Mohammed Mutawei, almost 30 years of professional and academic experience in project management. More than 25 of my professional experience are in multinational organizations. I believe I was lucky to have the opportunity to study and work in several prestigious and mega projects in more than 20 countries around the globe. I am a certified project management professional, risk management professional, business analysis professional, portfolio program and project officers, P3O, and professional certified trainer. I am currently acting as a deputy corporate director in one of the multinational organizations, and I am a lecturer as well. I am originally a civil engineer, and I have a Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy in project management. So let us go and start our presentation. Our agenda today, we'll have interesting agenda talking about the project management maturity assessment, and it's mandatory in the era of COVID-19 pandemic. We will start with introduction, statement of the problem, and talking about the new normal or next normal, how organizations can prepare for a post-COVID-19 world. And then talking about the maturity, its basics, concepts, and the maturity models and project management maturity models. What does this mean? Then we will move forward to the project management maturity implementation, and we will go through the implementation, and we will go through challenges which we have faced in the implementation and how we have overcome these challenges. Also, we will discuss what are the expected benefits we will get from implementation of project management maturity models. And then we will go to the conclusion. So first, let us see. Of course, currently about 4 of the world economy is generated through projects. This is according to the World Bank. In a recent study in the US, a recent study shows that the success rate in the IT projects is still very low. We are talking about 37%. In fact, globalization and the business environmental have posed the challenges to our organizations. This year's Pulse of the Profession revealed 11.4% of investment is wasted due to poor project performance. and organizations that under-evaluate project management as a strategic competency for driving change report an average of 67% more of their project failing outright. Of course, we agree now, most organizations now embrace project management as a best way to develop products and services, and there are continuous efforts by researchers and practitioners to develop and improve organizations' capability in project management. In fact, the COVID-19 is challenging now our organizations and our business in ways many of us had not planned for, and requires a short-term and long-term response to protect both the business and the organizations. And we need, of course, to give both of them future effectiveness and success. Now, while we are going slowly to the new normal or next normal, of course, the COVID-19 and the fierce competition and the global economic situation will force all the organizations now to revise their actions and practices, not only to meet project constraints, not only to compete, but in fact, now to ensure survival. In the new normal, organizations or next normal organizations have a big challenge now to review its actions and practices and improve its performance and project management capabilities. But of course, the top management or executive management has the upper hand in this. Often this happens when executive management decides to take proactive actions. But the question is, action in what direction and to what end? This will lead us to the next point, which is maturity and the maturity models. Let us first talk about the basics and the concepts. First of all, what is the meaning of maturity? As a noun, we all know that maturity, it is a state reached when fully grown or developed, or a state of mind where one is mature about things. Okay, but what is project management maturity? In fact, project management maturity is not about a personal level of maturity. It is not about an organization ages or years in existence. In fact, it is about the effectiveness of project management practices which are applied in this organization. Maturity is linked to how well an organization is able to manage their projects. In fact, this is usually measured on a scale 1 to 5, which one is, let us say, the awareness or the basic awareness or no system at all, till level 5, which is considered as the center of excellence. And model or maturity model is a framework organizations may use to identify, establish, and maintain required project management capabilities. There are different models by various organizations. Of course, we are now coming from different backgrounds regarding the subjects. Let us first see. Some of you probably are familiar with this concept. Some of you are new to this concept, which is understanding of the project management maturity. So let us go to the bull number 1. Bull number 1, does your organization currently use maturity models? A, yes. B, no. C, I am not familiar with the term maturity models. Let us give 20 seconds. Okay. Very interesting results. Yes, 28% of the attendees said that their organizations currently use maturity models. 42 they are not using, and 28 they are not familiar with the subject. This is very interesting. So let us go to the next question or next poll. When your organization started to use maturity model, of course, this question is directed to the people who answered yes. If your answer in the previous poll 1 was yes, when your organization started to use maturity, A, less than 2 years, B, 3 to 5 years, C, more than 5 years. Let us give also 20 seconds. Still, okay. So from the 28% they have answered yes, they are using maturity models, 44 said that they are using it less than 2 years, and 37% they use it from 3 to 5 years, and 18% is using more than 5 years. Okay, very interesting. As you can see, only 28% of the attendees are using maturity models. And from them, 18% are using it more than 5 years, and 37 are using from 3 to 5, and almost half, 44%, are using less than 2 years. That means that this concept is still new for several organizations. And in fact, yes, the whole concept of the maturity models may be 2 or 3 decades only. When it was started first in the CMMI or in the IT industry, where it started with the CMMI, which is first maturity model have been produced in the IT industry, and the whole industries after that started to take it from the IT industry. In fact, several studies have been conducted all over the world in several countries. Like the one I'm sharing from Brazil now, it shows a direct positive relation between total project success and the level of project management maturity in the organization. In this slide, it is shown that there's a direct positive relationship between the total project success and the level of maturity. Whenever the level of maturity is increasing, the project success is increasing. In this slide, it shows an inverted relationship between the project failure and project management maturity. The higher the maturity, the lesser the delay. And in this relationship, and in this study conducted also in Brazil, inverted relationships between cost overrun and project management maturity. The higher the maturity, the lower the cost overrun. Also, this is the latest Pulse of Profession report, Pulse Data Maturity. As you can see, this is the latest Pulse of Profession. I can share it with you. Pulse Data shows that when it comes to value delivery, organizations that are highly mature in their capabilities outperformed those that are not across number of key project metrics. As you can see, meeting the goals within the budget, on time, and the scope creep, of course, they are lesser, and the project failures as well. What I want to say, I have several studies all over the world, all over the globe, in several countries. And as a summary of several studies, the project management maturity key findings: organization with higher maturity can do projects faster, cheaper, with lower project management cost, and with better customer satisfaction and better quality. There are many different benefits related to high level of project management maturity. This pushed some of the project management experts, in fact, such as Dr. Krisner, to say that maturity, do or die. But why he said that? In fact, when we start any business, the business either decline from the beginning or it will start to grow and succeed. And after that, the business will expand and will be bigger and bigger. In a certain point for the organization, when its work and business have grown to specific limit, they should take into consideration their maturity. Now the practices which were applied before is not suitable for the size of the business they have now. And they need to have a better maturity in the project management practices to be able to grow. In this key point, either they will respond and they will develop their project management practices and maturity to be able to grow further, or in this case, they may decline. So this is very important. This is high priority action, I believe, for organizations when they succeed in business. Let us go to the people who have answered the question. Yes, we have made them another question to know from how many years. But let us have another question to the people who have answered no. So for the people who have answered no in the poll number 1, had your organization made an analysis of its level of preparation regarding its current project management maturity? Yes, no. For the people who have who answered no, of course, in the first poll. So we'll give 20 seconds for this one. Still working. Okay, so it's very interesting. That means that 64% of the 72% said no, they have not made any analysis for our level of preparation, and 35% said that yes, they have made preparation regarding its current project management maturity. Very interesting. 35%. They have what I mean. They have acknowledged the importance of applying project management maturity models and the concepts in their organizations. Very interesting. Okay, let us go now. In fact, what I have tried to do so far is to explain the need for project management maturity for organizations. Now we have found we have found this problem. The question is how we can build project management maturity within the organization. What are the steps we need to take to build the maturity? There are different project management maturity models from several organizations. In fact, now we are all very ambitious, especially that if what I mean due to the current situation of the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, or due to the expansion of business, whatever. But we are all now, after we have seen all these studies all over the world, to see the effect, the good effect of the project management maturity model. Now we are all ambitious now to go now to the implementation. What I will try to do now, I will share with you what happened in the implementation and what are the lessons learned during the implementation. When we went to the implementation stage, we have faced, in fact, the first dilemma. This is first, we have tried to find what are the available maturity models available in the market. In fact, these are some of the predominant maturity models. It is not all, of course, but this is some. What we have found now, this is CMMI, or Capability Maturity Model, which have started in the SEI, or the Software Engineering Institute. It has started by the CMM, or Capability Maturity Model. This was the first maturity model. And after that, of course, there are several maturity models. All of these models almost in the last 2 decades or something like this. OPM3 from the USA, or Organizational Project Management Maturity Model. B3M3 from the UK, Portfolio Program and Project Management. BM3 Solutions Project Management Maturity Model. IBMA Delta Model. EFQM Excellence Model. Kerzner Project Management Maturity Model. PRINCE2 Maturity Model. B2M Japan, Project Planning and the Project Management Association of Japan, Parado from Brazil. In fact, several predominant maturity models just in the last 2 decades. And we have the first problem, first dilemma. Now, dozens of project management maturity models have been developed and used in the past 2 decades only. So which project management maturity model should we use? Okay, and this is another poll for the people who are using maturity models in their organizations. The 28%. Poll number 4, the name of the project management maturity model used by your organization. If your answer in poll number 1 is yes, we have put, of course, some options: A, OPM3, B, B3M3, KBMM, Kerzner, BM2 Project Management and Process Maturity Model, B2MM, CMMI, CMM, IBMA Delta, EFQM, others. We cannot, in fact, we cannot now count, or even not all the maturity models, but even the predominant maturity models, it cannot be counted in one slide now. So we will give 20 seconds for this poll. And of course, there's other. I have left other for the people who will not find the maturity models they are using in this list of maturity models. Okay, still working. Okay, very interesting. Now it stops. Stopped, I believe. Now we can find that OPM3, Organizational Project Management Maturity Model, 34%, and P3M3, 10%, and Kerzner Maturity Model, 10%, and BM2 Project Management Process Maturity Model, 6%, and B2MM 0, CMMI 10%, CMM 0%, IPMA delta 0, EFQM 0, others 27. Very interesting. So we can find this percentage, which I mean that, of course, even the people have not agreed on specific maturity models. From 34% in the OPM3, 10% P3M3, 10% Dr. Kresner, 6% PM2 project management process maturity model, 0% P2MM, 10% CMMI capability maturity model, CMM 0, IBMA delta 0, EFQM excellence model 0, and the others 27%. Very interesting. So let us go now to what we have done. In fact, this was also a dilemma for us, and what we have done is that we have done a comparison study between the predominant maturity models to know what are the strengths and weaknesses for each maturity model. By considering and analyzing the strengths and weaknesses for these maturity models, the proposed model, in fact, our intention was to choose one of these maturity models. But in fact, we have spent nice time in this, and we have found very interesting results, which I will share with you now. As I told you, the intention was to choose one of the maturity models and to work on it. But in fact, we have found some of the shortcomings found in the project management maturity models. Of course, we agree, all the people agree on the good effect of using the maturity models and the maturity concept. But the problem, what we are trying to find now, is which one we will use. But in fact, we have applied this on what I mean construction company, and we have found the following. Project management maturity models, first of all, first question, does one size fit all? This is the first question, because all the maturity models, they have been developed based on that it will be applied for all organizations. So my first question, or our first question, project management maturity models, does one size fit all? Some of the project management maturity models are competency-based and not process-based. We have found also some of the project management maturity models should be good in what? He's telling you, you should be good in what, in so and so and so and so, but not how to be good. Also, some of the maturity models, we have found that the assessment is not public. We have found generic ones, and therefore it do not address specific problems inherent in specific industry. And in fact, we have found also some of them are very complicated. Okay. Some of the project management maturity models are also, we have found, not suitable at all for low maturity organizations, because they are starting, they are starting by the standardization, for example. Also, we have found some of them are not suitable for comparison against maturity assessment worldwide. We have found also some of them having a big question mark on the model transparency, having a very superficial, some of them having a very superficial high-level assessment and misleading. And some of these models also, users are given a numerical score, but have no idea whatsoever which specific improvement need to be made. Of course, all of these statements and all of these, what I'm putting now, all of these have papers and researches, and we have spent very nice time in this. And of course, I'm ready to share this with anyone who is interested in that. So we have decided to go to a new model. Why a new model for us? Because one size does not fit all. Project management maturity model must be customized to the industry, must be customized to the organization, and must be adapted if even for the department. The maturity model has to be adapted to the organization needs. What is common here is the principles. The principles are universal. We agree on that. There's no difference wherever you go in the world, whatever type of projects, the principles of project management and project management maturity have to be there. What is different is application. How do you use the same knowledge to apply this knowledge in different environmental and in different situations on different project classification? So we have gone to this model, and I will share with you now what are the main elements of this model, which I will now share with you: the approach, the roadmap for the implementation, maturity levels we have considered, project management assessment areas, self-appraisal questionnaire, scoring system which we have used in this model, and also the web-based application. First of all, we are trying to simplify things as much as we can. So the roadmap for implementation of this model is step number 1, where you are now. Where are you now in the project management practice? Step number 2, where do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Because in fact, this depends on the strategic objectives of each organization. And after that, the step number 3, how will you go there? And step number 4, how well did you do? Have you done this well, or what happened exactly? And the circle is going. The roadmap for implementation, of course, we are depending on the using of survey, the desk review, the individual interviews and workshops, and of course we have defined also project management approach. And these are the steps which we have used. Yes, let us go one by one. Yes. So first of all, preparation for the appraisal, and check out the appraisal, and after that, appraisal analysis and determine maturity levels. This is the first step where you are now. And after that, identify project management capabilities and opportunities for improvement according to the strategic objectives of the organization. Where do you want to go? Then, of course, this is based on gap analysis. And after that, we will go to plan for improvement and carry out the improvement. And we are, of course, this is a continuous process. So after 6 months, we are evaluating the whole process, and we are comparing to the results, and we are starting again. In fact, we have tried also in this one to use as much as we can the international standards, because we are trying to, what I mean, to not to be far away from the leaders in the project management industry. So what we have used in the maturity levels, we have used the first maturity model which have been issued, which was the capability maturity model. And we have used the same levels as it is, but we have also added level 0 on awareness. Level 1 is starting by the awareness ad hoc system, but there is awareness of this. But if there's no awareness of the project management practices, we thought that we need level 0 as well. So we have used the same levels, but we have used level 0. And as you can see also, it is the same levels as the capability maturity models. But again, we need to know what are the areas of assessment which we will utilize. And in this way, we needed to speak with the people in the organization and to know which of the following you are familiar with, which of the following project management practices you are familiar with. And we have made a very simple survey like this, which I will like also to share it with you. Poll number 5, which of the following you are more familiar with? PMBOK, PMI, IBMA, Prince2, COPET, ABM, P2M, others, please specify or none. And of course, there is, if there's something not familiar, of course, PMBOK, IBMA, International Project Management Association, Prince2, COPET, ABM, P2M, others, please specify and none. We will give 40 seconds for this poll. Okay, again, very interesting. It's still working. Okay, we'll give more time. Okay. So this is very interesting results. Now 86% is are familiar with PMBOK. 5% are familiar with IBMA, Prince2 1%, COPET 2%, ABM Association 1%, B2M 0, others 0, none 1%. Very interesting. And here the PMBOK 86%. In fact, what we have done, we have tried to be as much as we are close to the people who are in the organization. And for this one, it is 86% familiar with the PMBOK. More or less, maybe the percentage have a small difference between this organization or even with the organization we have worked with. But what we have noted that the PMBOK is much more familiar. The people are much more familiar with this PMBOK. And in fact, this happened in several organizations. And we have based our model based on these results, which now is confirmed by you. So we have decided that project management assessment areas, we will utilize the PMBOK guide. Why is the PMBOK guide? Because it's aligned contents with the thoughts of leading world authorities in the project management. It is accepted standard. It has a great deal of best practices, in fact, and the people in most of the organizations which we have worked with are familiar with them. And we have made this survey and we have got almost the same results. As we are applying this on a construction organization, we have found small problems that the PMBOK does not cover all the areas of project management assessments. So we have found that there are some areas which are not covered in the PMBOK, such as the safety management, such as the environmental management, such as the claim management, such as safety, some specific areas related to the construction companies. So we have used the construction extension, which are particular aspects within the construction project. So now, what are the project management assessment areas? We have utilized the 10 project management knowledge areas, which are integration management, scope management, type management, cost management, quality management, human resource or resource management, now communication management, risk management, procurement management, stakeholder management. And we have not worked, of course, on the knowledge area level. We have to go to the process level because we need to know the strengths and weaknesses for the organization. So we need to go to the process level, not the knowledge area level. And also, as we are applying this on a construction company, we found that we need to put also project management assessment areas which are specific to the construction, which are project safety management, project financial management, project claim management, and project environmental management. And of course, we have worked on the process level as well. So now what we have now, the basis of the model, project management assessment areas, the 10 assessment areas, the 10 areas in the PM book, and the 4 areas in specific for the construction. These are the project management assessment areas. And of course, we have designed self-appraisal questionnaire. It is a starting point, a springboard to improvement, simple and easy to use, very simple and easy to use, and modular and flexible enough to be used to assess maturity in different focus areas. And of course, it is on the process level. And after that, we have made the scoring based on this, and of course, based on the interviews. And of course, we are checking also the documents. We are checking the documents. We are checking the sites. We are checking also the corporate functions, all of these. And after that, we are giving scores for each process area in each knowledge area. So these are the levels, and these are the process levels, process areas. And after that, we are taking the score to the knowledge areas, from the process level to the knowledge area level. Also, because of the current situation, or a lot of now different sites for the organization is what I mean spread in different locations and different countries. We have designed web-based application. This web-based application system features web-based, accessible from anywhere in the world, like a normal website. It is exactly as a normal website. You go, you have a password and username, and you go and you answer the questions. Registration system, username and password login system. And in fact, it has also dashboard report, graphical and tabular data for the contracting organization, or for the construction organization, or for the organization overall and per knowledge area. And in fact, it is database driven. Assessment data is saved for future references. And this is one of the very interesting also items, that we have a trend for the progress of the project management practices for the organizations. And this is with time. Everything, it is database driven. Everything is stored in this database. So you start by simple with welcome screen, registration login, and then the profile of the organization. This then reports to create new assessment. And after that, this first will be the status of assessment in progress assessment status. We have not started yet, so we know what is not completed. And then you go and answer the questions. And after that, whatever you have done, whatever you have completed, it is okay, done. And after that, it is not still, this is not still not worked. So a lot of people can go, everyone can go to his function and answer the questions related to him. And after that, after all the people have been involved to answer this questionnaire, now you will find this, all the questionnaire have been answered, and you will find this screen. Once you have this screen, now you have a dashboard report, which is very interesting one, because now you can find the whole organization in one report. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses in each organization, in each knowledge area, in each process level? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? Where we are good in, where we need to improve. And this is the first step, of course, to know where we are. You cannot improve, you cannot develop unless you don't know where you are. And this is for the web-based application. This is a tabular and graphical form which we are using, and this is in one glance. You can find the whole organization, the whole project management practices, where are the strengths, where are the weaknesses, and of course in several graphical forms. And this will make the decision for improvement. You cannot improve everything in the same time together in one shot. This not can be done. But you can see what is the strategic objectives of the organizations and where they need to do improvement. After the gap analysis, we are going to put or to decide what are the objectives in the next 6 months, for instance, and we are working on this in the next 6 months. And of course, we are repeating the same again. These are sample reports. As I said, you can see here the whole organizations, the whole knowledge areas, and here also as well, you can find the knowledge areas and the process level and the knowledge area. Of course, this is a graphical form, and this is a tabular form as well. And this also some of the graphical which we have found, for instance, for the project claim management, for the project integration management, for the project scope management, all of this, each knowledge area, each process area, you can now define the whole strengths and weaknesses in the project management practices in your organization. And you can decide where the improvements are required to start with, because you cannot start in everything in the same time. And of course, this is again some of the results of the implementation. And now you are coming from the process level to the knowledge area level, and now you can decide, or you can now have, where is the whole organization? What is the level of maturity of the whole organization in the project management practices? You have started by the process level. You know where are the strengths, where are the weaknesses. You go up to the knowledge area level. You go up to the maturity level of the organization. Of course, when we have tried to implement this, we have found that we need to add some of the items, and this is normal. And even due to the COVID-19 pandemic, now you need to add specific areas you need, which were not existent before. And this is what is wonderful in this system. It is flexible. Whatever have been increased as best practices, or you need to modify, or you need to add, or whatever, you are not limited by a specific system or by a specific model which you need to do, and you are waiting for the update of this system or whatever. You have everything in your model, you have everything, and we have participated with the people, and we have spreaded the knowledge in the organizations which we have applied this system in, and they are participating together, and we are participating together, and we have the buy-in of them, because they understand everything. They know now where are the strengths, where are the weaknesses. So this is very interesting. I believe this was much better for me, for my point of view, much better than just having score, records, figures, and you don't know exactly, you don't have the buy-in of the people. The people who have done this are from the organization. They have, everyone now knows his strengths and weaknesses, and we have talked together, and we have discussed together what are the next steps, and they have admired, and they have acknowledged these results, because this is the first step to improve. And of course, this is, as I told you, this is one of the also of the graphical presentations of the results. Now you can see the whole project management practices applied in the organization in one glance. Okay, so What are the benefits we can get from this, from the project management maturity models, or from application of this system in the organizations? First of all, I believe you will have consistent management and great authority. The effectiveness will be increased. You will reduce cost and rework. You will reduce risk. Improve on-time delivery. Predictable delivery of performance, of course. Presenting diagnostics that help to understand the constraining factors that are inhibiting to perform better. In fact, this is as you go to the doctor. You are checking, you are making checkup every 6 months, and you are seeing where if you have any problems, how you can discover it early, you can treat it. You cannot leave yourself or your organization like this. You need to, what I mean, to go to make a checkup for not for yourself, not for your health this time. You need to make a checkup for the project management practice, for the performance of your organization. What is wonderful about the project management maturity models is that, okay, all the organizations are making, are evaluating their performance. What are the KPIs, key performance indicators of their performance, how they have done well, good in cost, in resources, in project management time, in all of this. This is of course, this is wonderful. This is great. This is very, very good. But why we don't go step before? Instead of evaluation of the performance and to see if the performance is good or bad, why we do not go to the root cause? We all believe that project management, or management even, is the root cause of any success or failure. This is on the organizations, on the countries, on everything. We can find countries without any resources, but they are managing them their very limited resources very well, and they are great. They are doing well. And we can find a lot of organizations, a lot of even countries, they have a lot of resources, but the management is not on the needs a lot of improvement. So the resources are not used by the optimum method. So this is yes, why we do not, why we wait and evaluate the performance, why we don't go step before and evaluate the root cause for the performance, which are the project management practices, and to start to deal with the root cause of this performance. Also, another thing, it shows the maturity of organizations in implementation of project management practices. Now you can find what is your maturity, how good you are in applying the knowledge of project management practices in your practices which are applied in your organization. And you are making a benchmark against others, including competitors, where you are from competitors. First of all, you know to assess yourself. You need to assess your strengths and weaknesses. And after that, you need to compare yourself with your competitors. And of course, once you have made this, you have a clear indication of the strengths and weaknesses of your project management practices in your organization. And of course, this will give you a detailed gap, and you can now have a detailed gap analysis to identify specific areas that need project management improvements. You cannot improve anything unless you know it. So you need to know first, you need to know where are the weaknesses and where are the strengths in your project management practice, because it is the root cause of the performance. And after that, you need to make a gap analysis. And after that, you need, based on your strategic objectives, to decide what is the next step, because you cannot climb the whole everything together. Another benefits is that you can measure against best practices of managing projects. Of course, we have the best practices, and we can now, we have a ruler now. We can measure where we are from these best practices, highlight where the potential problems are, can enable organization to do the projects the right way, providing a clear structure roadmap for persistent development with setting priorities for short-term improvement actions. Of course, we need also to have short wins. We can, we have found that, okay, we can by very limited and very small changes, we can have very big wins. Just small, very small things, but we cannot, what I mean, we cannot go to this, we cannot discover this unless we have the assessment. And of course, we need to have any short wins, what I say, short wins, to be able to continue. And this will, of course, increase the ambitious in the whole staff and in the whole organization. In fact, also, this can lead to significant competitive advantage if follow-up improvements are made. As I said, also, assessment, project management maturity assessment is only the first step. And you are repeating this first step every 6 months, based on the objectives you have, based on the strategic objectives you have put, based on the plan you have done. And after that, you are repeating all of this. Of course, this will lead to promote the organizational maturity awareness among senior management and providing a framework for improving an organization business results by assessing the organization's strengths and weaknesses in project management. One of the advantage also of using the project management maturity models is building a culture of project management excellence and project management best practices within the organization. Because when you are giving training or some lectures to the engineers or the managers in the organizations, in fact, they are very ambitious and they want to apply, but there's no room for the application. Now you have involved them with you, and now you are building culture of project management excellence, and they are participating with you now. So it is one of the very beautiful things in the project management maturity models, that you are building this culture of project management excellence and project management best practices within the whole organization. Support the proposal to prospective customer through demonstrating service quality. Yes, of course. Several clients now are requesting, especially if you have what I mean, mega projects or specific mega projects. Several clients now are have realized that the matter is not the resources of the organization, the matter of how they are managing these resources and where they are in the project management practices and where they are in the maturity models. And a lot of organizations now, clients, when the projects are bigger enough or have a certain limit, mega projects, they are asking the contractors to demonstrate for them the maturity of their project management practice. And I believe this practice is going to increase, and more, a lot of people, a lot of organizations will ask the contractors where you are in the project management maturity, where you are. Choose one of the models and show to us, demonstrate to us the level of your maturity model. So either you are in the contracting side, you need to do it, and either you are also in the client side, I believe you need to do it, to put it as a request for the organizations to make sure that, okay, you will not have problems with this contractor. And this, of course, as I told, a lot of a lot of several clients now are requesting for this one. Another thing is that establishing a base for organizations, which is anticipated to continue to be refined and expanded as better practice as evolves. Of course, if every day there's something new, and you have now the database, and you can increase whatever you want, and you can remove whatever you want. And after that, of course, it is database driven. Everything is existent in your database every time. Okay, and let us go now to our conclusion. Dr. Saad, you want to say something?
No, I'm waiting for the conclusion.
Okay, so the conclusion, COVID-19 challenge and new normal or next normal, we need to be ready for the new normal and the next normal. How organizations can prepare for a post-COVID-19 world. In fact, the best thing is they are enforced to review their practice, their project management practice on the top of that. And project management maturity models not only used in assessing project management efficiency and maturity, but also a path forward for achieving excellence in project management and further performance improvement. But we need careful attention and consideration in the practical implementation in the business, and we need to customize project management maturity models for each organization and for each industry. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share with you what we have done. And now I will leave the floor to Dr. Saadi and for the discussion and for any questions. Thank you very much again for this opportunity, and thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad. I think it contains a lot of information and knowledge. Thank you for the effort. I love the last statement you said, that we need to customize project management maturity assessment for each organization and for each industry. I believe the context changes a lot, because in so many cases, when we try to implement a good practice in two different organizations, we cannot implement them in the same manner. So many factors, starting with the culture, with the strategy, with the existing capacity and capability, leadership support, and so on. So many different factors that gets us to implement in a different manner. And we cannot say any one of these two are wrong. No, it might be the best way to implement for organization A, which is different from the best way to implement it for organization B. And whether it is the PMBOK or any other body of knowledge, they tell you these are guidelines, okay? More like a repository of knowledge. Utilize whatever you need for your project to be run successfully. So we're gonna start to take questions. Before we take questions, I'd like to invite everybody. Next week, I'm happy because we conclude batch 1 of 14 amazing webinars, in addition to two panels and extra webinars here and there. For by next week, would have concluded 17 activities in 14 weeks. I would like to thank everybody for following us and for collaborating with us. We would have not do it without the amazing speakers and the amazing participants. Next week, Rashida bin Farhat from France, she's going to speak about agile project management during the downturn. And this is very interesting, agile for all of us. Now, having said that, the strategy implementation professional has been, there is the promotion ends on end of this month. I was talking to Antonio to extend it one more month, but I don't know the decision yet. So let's start with the questions. We have lots of questions tonight, and some of them are really very interesting. Now, let me start from now, Angela Barida from Peru. She's saying, very interesting topic. Not all companies are mature and prepared. How to help them? Which tools are better? So what do you think?
Yes, in fact, we have shared our experience, and we have shared our what we have done. And I believe what we have said can be used by everyone now. What we have shared with them our experience and what we have done, and I believe it was a very successful implementation. And now you can take the same steps. You can follow the same procedures as we have done. You need to spread the knowledge in the organization. And you need to, to follow the same, where the project management assessment areas, what will be the levels. And after that, I believe, first of all, you need to be convinced, and the top management be convinced by the project management maturity, and to spread this concept in the organization. And after that, you can, you can implement as much as you can from the best practices, and to follow the same what we have done. We have shared our experience in this, and you can follow the same.
Type. Now, before I get other questions to you, I have a question from my own. And it's a tricky question. What if somebody conducted an assessment? The scores are very high, very good. It shows we are excellent, but actually our projects are actually in trouble. So what is wrong in this situation?
The assessment itself, as you can see, yes, in fact, the assessment may be tricky, because when you are checking the assessment, you are not checking by only one result or one reply. You need to go to the sites, to the work sites. You need to check everything. You need to see the documents. You need to have answers from several people in different locations. And I believe, it is very important to check every document and every answer. It is not just answering questions. It is where the evidence. What is the evidence of these answers, and what are the evidence of this question? And of course, there are problems. What is the root cause of these problems?
Exactly. So, what is more important? Giving Michael Schumacher an old car versus an old lady driving a Ferrari. Who do you think would win? Which is more important, the driver or the car, the assessor or the tool?
Yes.
Which is more important? What would you select? The old lady with the Ferrari or Schumacher with the old car?
Schumacher with the old car will not do anything.
Whereas the lady with the Ferrari, she might win.
Yes.
Yes, and she might kill herself and others as well.
Yes.
So it's dangerous.
Yes.
I myself, I would choose Schumacher with the old car. Okay, I know he might burn it. Okay, but I'm for the driver before the tool. I believe it's all about the driver. It's all about the assessor. Is he rigorous enough? Is he working towards corroboration? As you mentioned, very important to be evidence-based. Okay, So in the case when we have amazing numbers and very high scores, but our projects are still in trouble, this means something wrong. Either we are sugarcoating the data, wishing to please, okay, or we are not looking for evidence, we are being biased. It's very important for the assessor to take himself or herself out of bias. And it's not easy to take ourselves out of bias. Now, I love the tool that you did with it, which is because somebody was asking about a question about what's the difference from OPM3, since you are basing on the 10 knowledge areas. And I would love to answer this question. There are two differences. Number one, you added the construction aspects or knowledge areas, which are not found in originally there. So for the construction business, I believe you took the model one step ahead. And this is amazing, fascinating. Now, the other side is that the OPM3 covers more. It covers program management, portfolio management, and organizational enablers, which are very, very important. It's the link, the integration between projects and operations. So again, as you said, it's like horses for courses, okay? Which horse would I select for which course, for which mission? This is why I rely more on the assessor than the tool, okay? The assessor will know how to maneuver, okay? And actually get the right data and provide the needed recommendation. Even when product suite by DNV and PMI was on, we did not rely 100% on product suite, because asking 800 questions is more like being a robot, okay? It's not the right way. The right way is to ask open-ended questions, listen to the story, okay, to the leads that people will show you, whether they want or not. They're gonna show what they have, either by saying it, and in many cases, we look for what they intended not to say, and understand a lot out of that. When we ask the same question to more than one person, okay, without saying, like applying the Delphi technique, without telling them who said what. When I ask the same question to 4 or 5 different people in different roles in the organization, and I get exactly the same answer, then this answer tends to be the truth, okay, like on a scale of 1 to 100. But if I ask 5 people and each one gives me a different reply, then I know I did not lock yet on what is the thing which is true. So, having said that, let me go back to the questions. Funda Ayaz is talking about project acceleration and collaboration workshops can help to fix project problems and solutions and follow up for maturity assessment, isn't it? What do you think?
Yes, of course. In fact, what is the assessment itself, it is done through several workshops. We do not just give what I mean is some questions and people go and answer and we take the results or whatever. We are making several workshops with the people, and even if there are problems in the organization or in specific areas, we are discussing these areas. And based on that, we are finally putting the results, and we are discussing also the maturity level with the people, and we are having their feedback based on the answers and findings which we have found. And based on that, of course, all these are made through workshops and through discussions with the whole staff.
Thank you. Now, Ahmed Aziza was asking about, and it's a nice question, about the references for, because you mentioned several statistics. Perhaps we can add the references later on in the PDF. if you don't mind.
Yes, yes. For this one, I have almost 500 references.
Okay, only the ones mentioned.
So what? Yes. Even يعني a lot. I have a lot of references for each statement of this
Yes.
stated here. There was several references. I even it was not one reference for this. When I have stated something, I have stated based on several references, and finally I have found this. Yes, even you will find even. I don't want to go through this subject, but even you will find. I invite all the people to read about the latest articles regarding the OPM3. I can share with you if you want, if you are interested, these latest articles about the subject, and you will find very interesting information.
Okay, why not? Now, Raed Rashdan has a very interesting question. Can we say maturity models are not really mature enough, as many organizations are not using them, thus improve them?
Okay, this is a very good question, really. But let me say something. The whole concept of the maturity models is a little bit new. يعني from 2 decades or something, you didn't hear about the maturity. I had a very interesting what I mean slide, which shows that in the 19th you don't hear anything about the maturity. But what I mean in the last 2 decades, because of the importance of the maturity, a lot of people all over the world, and when they have found that okay, it is a very systematic way to develop and to improve the performance, all the people have worked. But because it is something new, all the people have worked together. So you will find models from Brazil, you will find models in the USA, you will find models in Spain, you will find models in every in the UK. So what happened is that because something is still new, several countries and several people have tried to develop something, but the awareness of the maturity, because we have done a research on that, the awareness of the maturity, the people do not know the maturity less.
I think, Dr. Muhammad, this is the main thing, awareness.
Awareness,
I served in 2008 or 9, was it? I was part of the advisory board with PMI on organizational project management maturity model. And from that time, we identified that not enough awareness is being put. Many organizations are not aware. Don't forget, this is not a simple topic. Back then, we were fighting to propagate and to spread the concept of project management. So if organizations, especially leaders, do not understand what the project discipline is, how can you convince them to go for a maturity model? Number one. Two, another thing about maturity models. Now, the OPM3 did not follow the 5 levels. Why? For a very, very good reason. In one of the large power or generation or utilities organization, we found their risk management is maturity. We gave them the highest score. I used to work with Claudia Bacca, the mother of OPM3, and we gave them 99%. When it comes to other areas, their score is 10 or 20 or 15. So if we say they are at level 3 or 2, this is not right with respect to risk, because with respect to risk, they are at level 5. But with respect to other aspects, they are a little bit lesser or more less than that. This is why they did not speak about an organization achieving a level, the whole organization will not be at the same level in terms of every capability and capacity. If they have a very tough estimation department and they use estimation tools and they use best practices, what they call as best practices working for them, and they have the database and they compare numbers from between execution and back records and whatnot, and they have maybe the, I don't know, RS means or whatever international, they do everything in estimation, you'll find their estimation data is perfect. And they will take a great score in terms of estimation, but not necessarily in terms of execution, because these are another team. So we might find discrepancy in terms of this. This is why the level thing is not that accurate. It's an indicator, okay? Maybe on average they are at level 3, but they could be in one area at a higher level, another area at a lower level, more or less. But again, the problem has been and still is a matter of awareness.
Yes, yes, fully agree. Yes, fully agree with you, Dr. Saadi. Yes, in fact, because because it is a recent concept and it is only 2 decades or something like this. So a lot of people do not know the concept and there is no awareness of the subject. So this is still a new thing, new subject for you.
Yes. Funda Ayaz was asking, can you share a checklist of maturity assessment levels? I think there is no one single checklist. It's a huge thing. Huh? What do you think?
It is, in fact, it depends on each organization. What are their interests? For instance, in construction organization, they will find some items like some project management assessment areas like safety, like management of safety, management of claims, management of financial. So I believe there's no one checklist. It depends on each organization. As we have said, the project management maturity model should be adapted to each organization and to each industry.
Yeah. Now, another question. Somebody is asking, okay, Munir Judi, do you recommend to diverge or to converge or to hybrid, keeping that to PM to tailor and use the best from all frames? If I understand the question properly, Munir, are you asking us whether we will use practices from one standard, for example, or from many standards? If this is the question, my answer would be use from any standard that serves your purpose, okay? We are fanatic for knowledge, for offering solutions, for the project success. So whatever helps us in terms of project success, we're gonna seek it. Every time we build some PMO or methodology, we used from everybody, from anybody who has valid knowledge. So I answered that question. I'm gonna
I fully agree with you, Dr. Saadi, but I just want to add something. For each model, when we have made the comparison study between the maturity models, for each model there are strengths and there are weaknesses. And based on that, you are trying to compile or you are trying to take as much as you can from the strengths and you are trying to avoid the weaknesses.
And this is what you did. You added from the construction.
Yes.
Which is beautiful. I love the concept. Now, Zaid Gulsen is asking, it seems the basis of your assessment model is on project management knowledge areas. How do you cover the benefit management, value capability of the organization? Because I think that the contribution of the project to the organization strategic goals should also be part of this maturity model. I think this is a tough question.
In fact, the model is very flexible. We have started by what I mean by the basic concept of project management. Project. We need to assess the project management practices, which are in its simple way, not its complicated way, because when we sometimes are using project management as to cover the portfolio and the programs and all of this. We have started by the projects, and we have now a database which is very flexible. We can add whatever we want. And of course, the next step will be to expand to the portfolio and the program and to all the other items. But we have started by the projects because the projects was for the construction organizations. Project management was the core business for us.
Okay. Now, another question from our friend Nawaf. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad, for interesting subject. My question, do you think that for an organization to select a certain maturity model and then start from the basic cognitive level and then gradually head for the continuous level, or do assessment and then choose the right level?
He is asking about do assessment and choose the level?
Yes.
Or what is the other option?
He's asking, do you think for an organization to select a certain maturity model and start from the basic cognitive level and then gradually head for the continuous level, or do assessment and then choose the right level?
Yes, just I want to clarify something. You do not choose the level. The level is coming from your practice, and the practice you are going to the process level, and so it is a little bit strange if I find there are a lot of problems in the organization and you are having a very high. There's something wrong in the assessment, because now you are going to the process level. You are checking all the problems you have in the organization, and after that you have a score for the process level, and after that you have a score for the knowledge area level, and after that you have a level for the whole organization. And even the improvement and the gap analysis, you are deciding the gap analysis and the improvements based on the strategic objectives of the organization. So whatever areas you want to improve, you are starting to improve it. Whatever areas you want to leave it now and you are satisfied by these areas, okay, that's fine.
Okay. Now, Ahmad Khraizat, our friend, have we explored?
And it is a database driven. That means that we can, what I mean, for instance, there are some, we have based that on level 5 on PM book version 5, and now we have 6th edition. We can add whatever we want to add. We have no problem because it's a database driven, and we can add whatever we want to the system. No, we don't have a problem. And this is what I mean. This is the beautiful of the system, because now you have the system in your hand and you can increase whatever items you want.
Furthermore, I believe, to answer Ahmad from another perspective, that project management tools like Enterprise Project Management, Primavera or PM-REP or SAP or Oracle, whatever, they provide KPIs for project performance, whereas the maturity model provides KPIs for the process. Now, in concept, if the process is highly mature, then projects KPIs should be high. As Dr. Muhammad showed, lots of statistics that provides this correlation from Brazil, I believe. If not, something is wrong, some data is wrong. So an EPM does not measure the maturity, it measures the success of the processes through the success of the projects that who are following them. Okay, but the measurements come from a different perspective because you assess and you ask questions about process standardization, process improvement, process efficiency, okay? And you support it with data from real projects.
Yes.
Now,
yes. Okay. I fully agree. But I just want to add a small thing that, okay, the key performance indicators measure the success of the project. But now we don't want to go to wait. This is wonderful. This is very good. But we don't want to wait until we see the results and we evaluate it. We go further, we go step before, and we go to the project management practice itself, and we try to do as much as we can and to improve it as much as we can.
Okay. Now we're gonna take only one or more two questions before we finalize for tonight. I'm seeing, okay. Sayyid Arshad Ali Ahmad is asking, thank you for this presentation. My question is the KPIs and graphs shared in the presentation belong to which tool?
No, we have developed this tool. It is in, we have developed this tool, and it is not something difficult or something. What we have done, we have shared the whole experience of the whole subject with all the people, and you can now, what I mean, follow according to the industry, according to the organization. The same, you can do the same steps as we have done. We have shared with you an experience, and I believe you can follow. And this is not difficult because we have developed this from scratch.
Okay, now the last question, it's an elaboration by Nawaf Al-Ahmadi. I meant by choosing the level, targeting certain level, because the target depends on the organization setup. If it is projectized organization or company, then they have to aim for the highest level. This is what he was talking about. What do you think?
No, again, please.
Again, he's saying he meant by choosing the level, okay, targeting a certain level, yani working to achieve a certain level, to reach a certain level. Because the target level depends on organization setup. If it is projectized organization or company, then they have to aim for the highest level. What do you think?
In fact, it is not a matter of level. It is not a matter of a score. It is a matter of a systematic way of what I mean, doing the right thing. It is not a matter of I want to achieve or I want to have a score. Even when we have tried to fix, we have said, okay, if you are mature, for instance, if your maturity level in the processes, in the knowledge area, you have 1, 2, 3, now finally you will take the least score you have. So it is not a matter of achieving scores. It is a matter of making progress in your practice. This is the main thing. It is not a matter of...
I totally agree. The objective is to get our projects to succeed more.
Yes.
This is what we want. Exactly. If you have all your projects are successful, every time from the first time, forget about maturity model. Don't waste your time. But since we are not at this stage, looking at maturity and working on it aims and will get us to get our projects to succeed more.
Yes.
Now, when do we stop? It all depends. It goes back to our investment in quality. Do you spend on quality more than the return? Usually no. I spend 10,000 to spare 100,000. I don't spend 90,000 to spare 100,000. Okay? So always there is a return on investment. The amount of level of effort that a company is working on enhancing maturity, the return should be much higher. This is why in the initial stages, when we have too many problems and big problems, we focus on what we call low-hanging fruits. things that we can improve that are quick, rather not costly, but
Yes.
provide a lot of results, and they show quick wins. Okay.
Yes.
Like an organization managing projects without a schedule, without a performance measurement baseline. The minute they start to utilize a schedule and a performance measurement baseline, they can start actually monitor and control. Big differences will happen, okay, and so on. So in many cases, implementing basic concepts makes a big difference, and maturity helps just to highlight, as you said, when you have too many problems or too many issues, how do you prioritize? Where do you start from? Okay, and it gives us a good North Star to follow, and a good reminder, as you said, in terms of benefits to focus on excellence. So, having said that, do you have any final comment, Dr. Muhammad?
I just want to clarify just something that based on several researches we have done, the problem is all the models we have said, all are great. Any model you will use, it will be great. It will help you. But what we have tried to do is we have tried to have the most one which will help us. So anyone you will use it, it is great. Every model has its strengths and weaknesses, but the problem is in the awareness. The people are not aware by this. Based on several researches we have done, the main problem is the awareness, not that they have used and they did not find it useful or whatever, because it's a systematic way to improve your project management practices, which we all believe that it is the root cause of the good performance or the bad performance. This is the first point. Second point I just want to add is that some organizations are very successful and their maturity level is very low. And this is a very tricky phenomenon because in fact it depends on the one-man show. You will find one-man show doing everything, controlling everything. Once this man disappeared, the organization had a big problem. The organization had a big problem. So you should not be this tricky problem should not make you neglect the concept itself, because you may find a very successful organization and its maturity level is very low. If you make more investigation, you will find it depends on one-man show, it depends on one person, it depends on whatever. So you are in a very dangerous situation, because if this person has disappeared, you will have a big problem. So this
beautiful remark. I love it. Okay, I really love it. It's the difference between institutionalization and one-man show.
Yes,
something built for sustainability, for growth, for the future, versus putting all our eggs in one basket. Okay, what happens if the basket goes away?
Yes,
we are in trouble. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, thank you, my dear. It has been really a pleasure having you with us tonight.
Thank you very much.
We'll inshallah meet in other webinars. Thank you for everybody who stayed with us until late on this fascinating Wednesday night. Until we see you next week, inshallah, we hope you stay safe and see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saadi, and thank you for everyone.
Thank you.